Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to the second video of the Agentic AI from Scratch series, and in this video, I'm going to upgrade our Agentic AI architecture from just a basic agent to an engineering ready agent. In the first video of this series, we created a very basic agent, but yes, that agent had the basic structure, the basic architecture of what an Agentic AI program or an Agentic AI system should look like. So basically, an Agentic AI system will always have a goal, right? Once it has a goal, we observe the current state, we decide the next action, then we execute the action, and then we evaluate the result. And if the goal has not met, we continue to do the same thing: observe, decide next action, execute action, and evaluate. We stop once the goal has met, or maybe there is a stop condition which meets. But now we are going to add two more steps in this architecture, which is validate the action after you decide the action before you execute the action. So we need to validate the action as well. And before we do the evaluation, just log the things which has happened. And this is for traceability. If there is any error, any unknown scenarios happening, then we can see the logs and we can see what has happened before the evaluation itself. So let me write the program and we are going to do it together. So I have a file named as less dump agent. In the first video, we created a dump agent. Still, we have a dump agent because we are not going to use any LLM model. So we are not going to have a real brain, but the architecture is what I want to explain you guys. You should know the architecture of an agentic AI system. So we are going to write the code together. So create a file, name it anything. I have named it as less dump agent 2.py. And the first thing you need is an agent state. We should always have a state for our agent. State means what is the current look of our agent, how the agent looks as of now, what are the different actions it has performed, what's the goal of this agent, is it near to the goal, is the goal done or not. All these things are going to be stored in the agent state. So we will create a class and we will name it as agent state. So class agent state is what we need, and it needs some properties. We are going to use the data classes module of Python and define our class as a data class. This will help us to get rid of some boilerplate code and maintain our class as a data. So we are going to say from data classes, we are going to import data class, and we are going to use the decorator at data class. And now what will happen? This agent state is a data class. So now we don't need to use a lot of boilerplate code like defining our instance properties using the init method. We can directly define our properties inside the class. And what are the different properties which we need in our agent? We need a goal, which has to be a string. We need a step, which has to be an integer, and let's name it as step. It will be an integer, and by default the value is going to be 0. So now you're noticing that with the help of data class, I don't need to use it like self.goal equal to something, right? I can directly say goal is a form of string. Data class is going to handle all these things for me. I don't need to define the function underscore underscore init. So the data class is saving us from writing the boilerplate code. So we can focus only on the properties. So the agent state will have a goal, will have a step. Also, this step will tell me how many steps the agent has performed, but there should be a max steps. It means the agent is only allowed to perform these many steps. This is to save our agent from performing the task infinite number of times. So there is a limit. If it is not able to do our task within the maximum number of steps, then it can stop. And let's give the value as 6. There should be a property named as failures, which is again going to be an integer. By default it is 0. It means how many failures it has met throughout the steps. And there should be a max failure as well. That is how many maximum number of failures it is allowed to do before it should stop. Also, we should have something like done. Done has to be a boolean, and by default it is false. It means our task is done or not. And whenever the agent stops, we should have a stopping reason as well, why the agent has stopped. So stop reason can be a string. By default it is empty. And now we need to have some properties for tracing. So we will have some history, and history will be a form of list, and this list will store dictionaries. So by default the value is a field, and this field will be coming from the data classes itself. Inside the field we have said default factory is the list. It means the history is a form of list, and by default it is an empty list. We also need to store metrics, which is going to be a dictionary, and we are going to give it a by default value. So it will be a field and the default factory is going to be a dictionary. But no, let's delete this dictionary part and write it as lambda, and we are going to have a dictionary. We are going to have total number of steps, we are going to have success steps, and we are going to have failure steps. So as of now, what we have is we have an agent state class, which is a data class, which has a goal, which has steps, which has max steps, failures, max failures, done, stop reason, history, and the metrics. At last, when the agent stops, which we will see how many steps it performed, how many were success, how many were failures. So it is useful for metrics and statistics. So once we have our agent state created, let's create some set of tools and everything, right? If you remember, our agent architecture has to be to observe the current state. So we should have an observance function. To decide the next action, so we should have a deciding next action function, validating action function, executing the action function, and we will log as well, and we will evaluate the result. But before all this, what we need is a goal, right? So we should have a goal before we start proceeding. So let me not write all these things. Let's write it in the way we should write it. Let's first have a goal. So I will say if underscore underscore name is equal to main. Let me create a goal. Let us say the goal is count the words in this sentence. Now this is our goal. We need to count the number of words in the given sentence. Now we need an agent which execute this goal, which start executing this goal, right? So we need an agent which runs. Okay, so we are going to create a function def run underscore agent, and this is going to take a goal. All right, so goal will be a form of string, and what this will return is an agent state. We need an agent state, that how the agent is performing this particular goal. Within this run agent, we are going to initialize our agent state. So we are going to say state is equal to agent state. All right, and we given it a goal. All right, so the goal is now initiated. Other values are still not initiated. Other values are still default in this state. All right, now what we can do is we can start executing our architecture: the observe, decide, validate, execute, log, and evaluate. So for that, we will actually run a loop. We will say while not state dot done. Now why is this condition? Because we will execute our agent till the state of this agent is not done, till this done is not converted to true from false. Within this, what we will have is we will have the observation first, right? We will observe the current state. So we will create a function named as observe. Once the observation is done, we will decide the next action. So we can say action will be equal to decide next action, and in this we are going to pass our current state as well as the observation which we have got. All right, this decide next action is going to return the action which we need to perform, and before we execute this action, we need to validate the action, right? So we need a validate underscore action function which is going to validate our action. And let's say we define this function and we will return two things: is it valid or not? And if it is not valid, it is going to return some error as well. We need to create these functions, but let's just understand the architecture for now. Now we are only going to execute the action if it is valid. So if not valid, if it is not valid, then we don't need to execute. We can directly create our result, and let's say the result is equal to, we'll have two things: the OK will be false and there should be an error, right? So if the action is not valid, we are going to create a result dictionary, and it will have two keys. OK as false, it means the action is not correct or it didn't executed in the correct way. Also, since OK is false, we need an error, right? So the error is what we have got from the validate action. But if the action is valid, we can go to the else part, right? If the action is valid, we are going to get our result by executing the action. So we are going to execute our action, and our action is nothing but a tool, right? So let's name it as execute the tool, and we are going to pass our action. And one more thing, guys, in the last video of this series, we had this execute tool function, but there was no retry logic. Sometimes your action might be correct, your tool might be correct, but maybe due to some network failure or any XYZ reason, your task could return error. So a good way is to retry the thing if it produces some error. So we are going to say retry on failure is equal to true. We are going to have this function execute tool, which is going to do a retry again if the action doesn't execute correctly. Once we get the result, what are the things which we need to update? See, the thing is, we have an agent state, right? Notice the architecture. We did the observation, we decided the next action, we validated the action, executed the action. Now we need to log and evaluate, right? So before logging, we need to update few things. That is, we executed a step, we need to update this value, right? If there is a failure, we need to update this value. We need to update our metrics as well, that how many steps we have taken, the success, the failure counts, right? So all these things has to be updated before we do the logging. So we are going to say state.step plus equal to 1, state dot metrics, and in the metrics we will update our total underscore steps, and this will be plus equal to 1 as well. Now based on the result, if result dot get, let's get the OK key. It can be false or true. We will set it as false or true. If the result is OK, that is, if it is true, then we are going to update state dot metrics, and in this we have a success step, right? So we are going to update the success steps, and this will be plus equal to 1. Else, if there is a failure, then we are going to update the failure step. If you remember, we have success step and failure steps. So we are going to update our failure step if the result is not okay, and also we have a failure count. So we are going to update this failures as well. So we are going to say state dot failures plus equal to 1. So this is where we are updating the state. All right. Before we do the logging, we need to update the history as well, right? The history of different steps which has been performed. So we can say state dot history dot append. Since it is a list, we are going to append something in this, and we are going to append a dictionary. In the dictionary, we are going to say step. We are going to update the step. So it will be state dot step. We will append the observation which we have got in this particular step. So it will be observation. We will append the action which has been performed. So we will update the action, and we will update the result in this dictionary as well. So in the history, we are storing all the things which has been performed. Now, once this is done, we have to do the log as well, right? And guys, I would say logging is something which you can do after the evaluation. And I think this because after you do evaluation, maybe some more data in your state can be updated. Based on the evaluation, maybe you can update your done value. Maybe you can update your stop reason if you stops, right? So let's just put this log value here and evaluate value here. And this can be our architecture. We can log after the evaluation. So I can just cut this up and paste it here. And this is our architecture. All right. So let's do the logging later on. First, let's do the observation. Is our goal achieved or not? So we can say if is underscore goal underscore achieved. If the goal is achieved, how can we find? We will pass our state and we will pass our result, that this is the current state and this is the result we have got. Now try to find out, is the goal met or not? If this returns true, we can say yes, the goal has met. So state dot done will be equal to true. And we have a stop reason, right? State dot stop reason, since we are stopping now, it will be equal to goal achieved, right? And we can break from here. This while loop which we are running, this is something which we can break. We can have one more condition. If state dot failures, if this value is more than equal to state dot max failures allowed, if this has been reached, then also the state dot done will be true, right? Again, we are done. Now the stop reason will be different. So I will copy this code, but our stop reason is not going to be goal achieved. It is going to be max failures reached. Also, there is one more condition when we can stop, and that condition is if the max steps has reached. Our third condition can be if state dot step, if this particular value is more than equal to max number of steps which are allowed, then we can say max steps reached. After all these things, we can say save the log. So we have a function save log, and we will pass our state, which is going to save our log in some JSON file. We will create that JSON file, and then finally we return the state. This is the whole architecture of a really good agent. This is how an agent actually run. Your agent is not this function. Your agent is this complete architecture. Your agent is the agent state. Your agent is the running agent function. All these things together create an agentic AI structure or an agentic AI system. Now, I don't want this video to be really long so that you lose your focus. I have written the code of all these functions and pasted it in our editor. I will just explain you that particular code for all the different functions. But the main aim to understand is the architecture of an agentic AI system. So let me explain you the system. So what we have the agent state, right? Now we have some set of tools. We have a tool echo, which can just take the string and return you back the same string. We have a tool word count, which can take the string and it will just count the number of words in that particular string. We have a tool reverse, which can take the string and reverse the string. And now we have a tools list, or I would say a tools dictionary, which has the echo tool, which has a word count tool, which has a reverse tool. This tools variable is going to store all the different tools which we have. Now we need an observe function. This observe function just takes the current state, right? And it will return what's the current step, how many failures, and what was our goal. It will return our goal, right? It will observe the things, see the number of steps, see the number of failures, and it will see the goal. Once the observation is done, we will decide the next action based on the observation, right? So we have a state and we have the observation ready as well. So the thing is, in real world, all these logic for the different functions will be managed by your LLM model. So it will have a brain. It will be smart enough to decide which tool to choose, what should be the input to your tool, what is the reason you are using these tool, right? But right now we are not having any LLM model, so we are writing the logic ourselves. So what I have written is, if the step is 0, then I will by default choose the tool name as echo, tool input as the text will be starting engineering create run, and the reason is because it is the initialize run. If there is a word count in the goal, in the state.goal, then I will return the word count tool. Here I am being a little bit smart, not as smart as the LLM model, but just a bit. So we have a tool name used as word count now. The tool input is the text will be agentic AI needs structure, reliability, and observability. In real world, if the LLM model choose the function or the tool as word count, it will generate the tool input as well. That is, what should be the input given to the tool. Because if you write a prompt like, hey, count how many words are there in the below sentence, and then you write the sentence below, it will only choose that below sentence and pass it as the input, right? So we should have the tool decided by our model, the tool input decided as well, and the reason can be anything like, okay, the goal needs count, so I'm using this tool, and by default I'm choosing the tool as reverse. So once we decide our next action, we also have a validate action. The thing is, whenever we have some action to perform, that action has to be valid, right? So our validation can be different things. For now, I'm just validating that the required keys has to be there. When we choose an action, it should have a tool name, it should have a tool input as well, and the reason why you are choosing this tool. So we are just having a logic that for if any of the key is not in the action, then we return false, which is the valid part, that is this valid or not, and the false reason, missing the required key. Also, I'm saying that if the tool name is not a string, then also I will return false. If the tool input is not dictionary, then we will return false. If the tool reason is not a string, I will return false. If I don't have any reason to return false, I will return true, and the error reason is empty because I am returning true. So my tool is validated. Once the tool is validated, I will have an execute tool, right? Where I will fetch the tool name. So now I'm sure that from the action, I will have a tool name, right? Because the validation is already done. The tool input will be fetched. And if the tool name is not in the tools list, because that is not we are validating, it will be good if we just validate in the validate action only. But I have done it in the execute tool, that if the given tool name is not in the list of tools, then we return okay as false, and there has to be a reason that the error is unknown tool. But if we are not returning this, then I'm running something. What I'm running? I'm running my tool, but I'm running it within a function because I want to have some retry logic. So I have a retry logic here. So we retry once on failure is true. If that is true, so what will happen? We are running our tool. Result will be equal to run the tool. If we get not okay and the retry once on failure is true, it means we have to retry. Then I'm doing another run to get the status as okay if possible. What I'm doing in the run is I'm having a try logic where I'm trying to find out the output from the given tool by passing the input and returning the value as okay will be true. The output is what I have got from the tool and the tool name itself. If there is any exception, then I'm returning okay as false, the error reason, and the tool name. So once after executing the tool, I will check if the goal is achieved. How can I check it? You can have your own logic. What I have is, if there is count in the goal, then I will return the goal is achieved. If the result is okay and the output key in the result is an integer, if that is an integer, I would say okay, that's a goal achieved. If this is not true, there is another way when the goal can be achieved, when the number of steps is more than equal to 3 and the result.get is okay. And just to save the running log, I am having a path naming it as runlog.json. I have a payload where I'm writing the goal, the done, the stop reason, metrics, history. I'm opening the file and just dumping my data. So these are my different functions to execute my agent. And before we actually run the code, we should import few important things from the typing module like dict, any, list, tuple, because we are using all these in our variables, and we should import JSON as well. And also we need to call our run agent function in our logic if name equal to main. So I can say run the agent and pass our goal. We can just run the code and we got no output, but what we got is a run log.json file. If you see this, you will see the things which has been performed. The goal was to count the words. The done is true now. Stop reason is because we achieved the goal. The metrics are there are two number of steps, both are success, no failures, and the history was in the step 1, the observation was step was 0, no failures. The goal was to count the words in the sentence. The action which was performed and which was chosen was echo, the tool echo, with an input. Text will be starting engineering grade run, and the reason was it was initialized run. The result which we got was okay was true, output was starting engineering grade run, and the tool name was echo. Since the goal is not achieved yet, we will say step is 2, we are going to perform another step. Observation was step is 1, no failures. The goal is still to count the words in the sentence. The action was to, the tool name chosen was word count. The tool input was Agentic AI needs structure, reliability, and observability. This particular input has 7 words. The reason was goal needs count, and the result we got is okay is true. The output is 7 words. The tool name is word count. So you can see that our task has been performed based on the set of tools we have, right? So overall, what you need to understand is this particular architecture. If you understand this architecture, working on any other frameworks will become really easy, guys. And I can promise you that if you know this architecture, if you can code this architecture, and if you can understand this whole code, any framework is going to be easy for you. You can find this code in the description of this video. For now, we are good with the second video of this series, which was about agentic AI from scratch and upgrade from a basic agent loop. And in the third video of this series, we are going to add a memory and a simple RAG pipeline to our agent architecture so that the agent can answer from our own documents instead of just guessing it. So guys, that's it for this video. If this video has helped you to understand the basic and engineering architecture of agentic AI system, then make sure that you are hitting that like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel as of now, then make sure that you do so. We are very close to 2000 subscribers. And if you have any doubt, any questions, put it in the comment box, and I will see you guys in the next video. I do want to see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching this one.